Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. If you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. Memories warm you up from the inside, but they also tear you apart. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. If you remember me, then I don't care if everyone else forgets. Whatever it is you're seeking won't come in the form you're expecting. Why do people have to be this lonely? What's the point of it all? Millions of people in this world, all of them yearning, looking to others to satisfy them, yet isolating themselves. Why? Was the earth put here just to nourish human loneliness? Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends, that's all. It just leads to disappointment. I dream. Sometimes I think that's the only right thing to do. If I have left a wound inside you, it is not just your wound but mine as well. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Only assholes do that. Sometimes when I look at you, I feel I'm gazing at a distant star. It's dazzling, but the light is from tens of thousands of years ago. Maybe the star doesn't even exist anymore. Yet sometimes the light seems more real to me than anything. It's like Tolstoy said, happiness is an allegory, unhappiness a story. I want you always to remember me. Will you remember that I existed, and that I stood next to you here like this? I was always hungry for love. Just once, I wanted to know what it was like to get my fill of it, to be fed so much love I couldn't take anymore. Just once. But I didn't understand then that I could hurt somebody so badly she would never recover. That a person can, just by living, damage another human being beyond repair. Silence, I discover, is something you can actually hear. Unfortunately, the clock is ticking, the hours are going by. The past increases, the future recedes. Possibilities decreasing, regrets mounting. Listen up, there's no war that will end all wars. I have this strange feeling that I'm not myself anymore. It's hard to put into words, but I guess it's like I was fast asleep, and someone came, disassembled me, and hurriedly put me back together again. That sort of feeling. If you can love someone with your whole heart, even one person, then there's salvation in life. Even if you can't get together with that person, despite your best efforts, people are going to be hurt when it's time for them to be hurt. Every one of us is losing something precious to us. Lost opportunities, lost possibilities, feelings we can never get back again. That's part of what it means to be alive. She waited for the train to pass. Then she said, I sometimes think that people's hearts are like deep wells. Nobody knows what's at the bottom. All you can do is imagine by what comes floating to the surface every once in a while. Taking crazy things seriously is a serious waste of time. I can bear any pain as long as it has meaning. In this world, there are things you can only do alone, and things you can only do with somebody else. It's important to combine the two in just the right amount. Letters are just pieces of paper, I said. Burn them, and what stays in your heart will stay. Keep them, and what vanishes will vanish. I have a million things to talk to you about. All I want in this world is you. I want to see you and talk. I want the two of us to begin everything from the beginning. Don't you think it would be wonderful to get rid of everything and everybody and just go someplace where you don't know a soul? Not just beautiful, though the stars are like the trees in the forest, alive and breathing, and they're watching me. The answer is dreams. Dreaming on and on, entering the world of dreams and never coming out, living in dreams for the rest of time. As time goes on, you'll understand. What lasts, lasts. What doesn't, doesn't. Time solves most things. And what time can't solve, you have to solve yourself. The most important thing we learn at school is the fact that the most important things can't be learned at school. What a terrible thing it is to wound someone you really care for and to do it so unconsciously. For a while is a phrase whose length can't be measured, at least by the person who's waiting. That's what the world is, after all, an endless battle of contrasting memories. Spend your money on the things money can buy. Spend your time on the things money can't buy. A certain type of perfection can only be realized through a limitless accumulation of the imperfect. No matter what they wish for, no matter how far they go, people can never be anything but themselves. That's all. If you're in pitch blackness, all you can do is sit tight until your eyes get used to the dark. I'm a very ordinary human being. I just happen to like reading books. Memories and thoughts age, just as people do. But certain thoughts can never age, and certain memories can never fade. No matter how far you travel, you can never get away from yourself. It is not that the meaning cannot be explained, but there are certain meanings that are lost forever the moment they are explained in words. What do you think? I'm not a starfish or a pepper tree. I'm a living, breathing human being. Of course, I've been in love. So the fact that I'm me and no one else is one of my greatest assets. Emotional hurt is the price a person has to pay in order to be independent. Most everything you think you know about me is nothing more than memories. Even if we could turn back, we'd probably never end up where we started. What makes us the most normal, said Ryoko, is knowing that we're not normal. I don't care what you do to me, but I don't want you to hurt me. I've had enough hurt already in my life. More than enough. Now I want to be happy. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm's all about. It's hard to tell the difference between sea and sky, between Voyager and sea, between reality and the workings of the heart. The sky grew darker, painted blue on blue, one stroke at a time, into deeper and deeper shades of night. People leave strange little memories of themselves behind when they die. I said nothing for a time, just ran my fingertips along the edge of the human-shaped emptiness that had been left inside me. You can keep as quiet as you like, but one of these days somebody is going to find you. If you can't understand it without an explanation, you can't understand it with an explanation. If you think God's there, He is. If you don't, He isn't. And if that's what God's like, I wouldn't worry about it. What we seek is some kind of compensation for what we put up with. Even chance meetings are the result of karma. Things in life are fated by our previous lives. That even in the smallest events there's no such thing as coincidence. We're both looking at the same moon, in the same world. We're connected to reality by the same line. All I have to do is quietly draw it towards me. Body cells replace themselves every month. Even at this very moment. Most everything you think you know about me is nothing more than memories. Each person feels pain in his own way. Each has his own scars. Life is not like water. Things in life don't necessarily flow over the shortest possible route. In a place far away from anyone or anywhere, I drifted off for a moment. She's letting out her feelings. The scary thing is not being able to do that. When your feelings build up and harden and die inside, then you're in big trouble. I made up my mind I was going to find someone who would love me unconditionally 365 days a year. I was still in elementary school at the time, 5th or 6th grade, but I made up my mind once and for all. That's the hard part, said Midori. She watched the rising smoke for a while, thinking, I guess I've been waiting so long I'm looking for perfection. That makes it tough. In a sense, I'm the one who ruined me. I did it myself. Something inside me had dropped away, and nothing came in to fill the cavern. It's because of you when I'm in bed in the morning that I can wind my spring and tell myself I have to live another good day. There's no such thing as perfect writing, just like there's no such thing as perfect despair. Have you ever had that feeling that you'd like to go to a whole different place and become a whole different self? Whiskey, like a beautiful woman, demands appreciation. You gaze first, then it's time to drink. I am nothing. I'm like someone who's been thrown into the ocean at night, floating all alone. I reach out, but no one is there. I call out, but no one answers. I have no connection to anything. What I want is for the two of us to meet somewhere by chance one day, like passing on the street or getting on the same bus. For both of us, it had simply been too enormous an experience. We shared it by not talking about it. Does this make any sense? As we go through life, we gradually discover who we are, but the more we discover, the more we lose ourselves. Dreams come from the past, not from the future. Dreams shouldn't control you, you should control them. But what seems like a reasonable distance to one person might feel too far to somebody else. Don't pointless things have a place, too, in this far from perfect world? I've always done whatever I felt like doing in life. People may try to stop me and convince me I'm wrong, but I won't change. There are ways of dying that don't end in funerals, types of death you can't smell, which is why I am writing this book. To think, to understand. It just happens to be the way I'm made. I have to write things down to feel I fully comprehend them. We knew exactly what we wanted in each other. And even so, it ended. One day it stopped, as if the film simply slipped off the reel. Nothing in the real world is as beautiful as the illusions of a person about to lose consciousness. All I do is keep on running in my own cozy, homemade void, my own nostalgic silence. And this is a pretty wonderful thing. No matter what anybody else says. I've been lonely for so long, and I've been hurt so deeply. If only I could have met you again a long time ago, then I wouldn't have had to take all these detours to get here. If you really want to know something, you have to be willing to pay the price. But there are certain meanings that are lost forever the moment they are explained in words. Life is a lot more fragile than we think. So you should treat others in a way that leaves no regrets. Fairly, and if possible, sincerely. I'd be smiling and chatting away, and my mind would be floating around somewhere else, like a balloon with a broken string. It's easy to forget things you don't need anymore. A person learns how to love himself through the simple acts of loving and being loved by someone else. We can't undo what has already happened. Once something's ruined, it can't go back to the way it was. Still, being able to feel pain was good, he thought. It's when you can't even feel pain anymore that you're in real trouble. In the world we live in, what we know and what we don't know are like Siamese twins, inseparable, existing in a state of confusion. No matter how much time passes, no matter what takes place in the interim, there are some things we can never assign to oblivion, memories we can never rub away. I'm a coward when it comes to matters of the heart. That is my fatal flaw.